Make sure you get your free download because it's going to have even more information than what I touch on in this video. I have had the pleasure of helping many people relocate to Georgia. People have moved from New York, Cali, Colorado, Florida. Hi, it's Natasha Bazile with SoldByNet.com, associate broker, home selling, new construction, and relocation specialist with Virtual Properties Realty in Georgia. Today we are talking about moving to Georgia. It may be an idea, or you may be certain that you want to relocate to Georgia, and whether you are using me as your agent or not, I'm going to provide you with some tips and some resources. So you'll have this video, you'll also have a podcast, a blog post, and a free download. So after watching this video, make sure you get your free download because it's going to have even more information than what I touch on in this video. I have had the pleasure of helping many people relocate to Georgia. People have moved from New York, Cali, Colorado, Florida, you name it. I probably helped somebody relocate from there to Georgia. And I myself am a transplant. If you're not new here, you have heard me mention my journey was New York to Florida and then to Georgia. So listen, this is lived experience, and I have helped others. And I've also helped people that some people couldn't even come in town to view homes. Some people came in town once, and then, I handled the process from there for them. So I share that so that, whatever your situation looks like, it is possible for you to relocate to Georgia. Let's go ahead and get into this free relocation guide. So this is going to be a starting guide, okay? And my goal for you is for your relocation to be as smooth as possible. So these are like the fundamentals of where you should get started when deciding that you want to move to Georgia. And some of these things you may say, well, that's a given, you should consider that. But listen, when you are moving, I don't care if you're moving down the street. It's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of people involved, and you may not think of everything. So I created this guide to help you think about those things and think about the other people that are involved in your move and the other factors and all of that good stuff. So let's get into it. We're going to start it here. Who is moving with you? If it's yourself, all right, it's easy. But if you're moving with your kids, if you're moving with maybe parents, who's moving with you? And why is that important? What are their needs going to be? So if it's parents, are they going to be able to do stairs? So these are things that you need to consider, talk to the other family members about, and then also talk to your agent about so that they understand what you're looking for. Next up is what? Are you buying new construction or resale? What are your must-have, your wishes, your deal breakers? And these are questions that I go over with anybody during my home buyers consultation, but just keep those in mind. You want to have an idea. Am I going new construction? Am I going resale? Am I considering both? And if you're considering both, is that even feasible for what you're looking for and your price point and the area and all of that good stuff? So speak with your agent about that. Remember, download the guide. Where do you want to live? So it's one thing to say, I want to move to Georgia. Georgia is big. Georgia is made up of almost 60,000 miles, has over 10 million people living here, and about 159 counties. So to just say you want to move to Georgia is not enough. And trust me when I say you will not want to live in every part of Georgia. It just is what it is. It would be a total night and day shift to go from the city life of New York to the backwoods of some Georgia county. Like, you need to do your research and you need to visit, we're gonna get there, and decide where you wanna live. Now, the 5 most popular, you probably hear the most about, are Fulton, Gwinnett, Cobb, DeKalb, and Clayton. There are others, and trust me, people are starting to move further out because they get more bang for their buck. Let me bring you back in. The whole purpose of this point is just deciding on where you want to live. What do you want around you? Having Publix and Starbucks and Target within a 5 or maybe 10-minute drive? Or are you like, I want to be 45 minutes from the closest grocery store. I don't really want to be around people. So, you got to factor that in. Where do you want to live? Okay, now the next step is when. When do you want to actually move to Georgia? Like, I'm working with someone now. They are buying the home, but they won't be moving here for a while. So they're buying it in anticipation of them retiring in a few years. It could be a case where I'm coming to Georgia this date, and I'm okay with getting temporary housing until the house is ready because we're buying new construction. Or it's a resale house. So we are fine with closing on this house and then moving in within a couple of months. So it could go different ways, but you need to have this conversation with your agent. How do you want this move to look? And discuss timelines and expectations. Why? Why are you even moving to Georgia? Are you moving because somebody told you that Georgia was a good place to move to? Are you moving because you heard Georgia was cheaper? Like, what is your real why that you are moving? Get in touch with that why, because when the bumps on the road of a real estate transaction come up, I need you to revisit the why you decided to move to Georgia, so you can reconnect with it and stay the course, because it's real estate. Things are gonna come up. As long as you're working with a trusted real estate professional, they're gonna help you navigate to the closing table, but your why has to be strong. I highly suggest before you decide that you're moving to Georgia, that you come, you visit, maybe visit several times, and not just a weekend. You might spend some time here, visit different parts. You ever heard that saying, come see me and come live with me is two different things? So just come in and just experiencing just a fun weekend is different than maybe living here. You might get a different feel. So you really need to know that you actually want to move here, all right? Remember, download the guide. How are you paying for this house? Are you getting a mortgage or are you paying cash? Do you have a house to sell where you currently live? And do you need to sell that house in order to buy the new one? Now, side note, if you don't already have an agent where you currently live, you can ask the agent that you are communicating with to give you a referral, okay? So they can refer you to an agent in the state that you are currently in. And it is important for those two agents to be in communication. Communication is key, especially when you have a house to sell and you're buying another one. That's important because ultimately you are buying this home contingent on your home selling. That could be a whole video in itself. If you want me to do a video on that one, comment down below. It is possible. It is not the easiest thing. So agents need to be in communication. And then if you have a home to sell, do you need some or all of the proceeds to buy the new house? And this one is probably the most important. On a scale of 1 to 10, how certain is your relocation? I would like to hear a 10 if I'm working with somebody. If somebody tells me a 3 or 4, we have more things that we need to talk about. And then last up, have. This one is going to tie in something I already mentioned before, but do you have family or friends already in Georgia? When was the last time you visited Georgia? And how often do you visit? I already spoke about this one before, but I think it's really important for you to visit. Again, especially if it's been a while, visit other areas. And if you're going to make the move to Georgia and you know absolutely no one, it's even more important that you are comfortable with the area that you're moving to. So that's it. I'm only going to touch on page 1 of this relocation guide. Remember to download it. On the second page, you're going to get a timeline of visits that you should be making when you are actually ready to find the house and start the search and all that good stuff and meet your agent in person. And then page 3 is going to be resources. How are you finding houses? How are you finding new construction? And it'll also include some other helpful links if you are considering moving to Georgia. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. If you have not done so already, please do. Please give this video a thumbs up. It is free and it helps me. If you learn something, please give this video a thumbs up. Again, check the description box. You will find the link to download the guide. You'll also find the link to the blog post. And don't forget, you can also listen to this via podcast. All right, drop any questions that you have down below. If you're considering moving to Georgia, you have further questions, you would like to speak with me about being your agent, don't hesitate to contact me. My Calendly link will be right here. Again, I appreciate you, and we're going to sign it off like we always do. Have a positive, peaceful, and productive day.